Oh my god, now I'm James Cameron.
There can be no denying the massive financial success of the first two Avatar films. These two movies have combined to make $5.25 billion. But they're kind of strange in that they've made a ton of money, but I feel like no one really ever talks about them after they leave the theaters. Now, this past weekend gave us the release of the new Avatar film, Avatar Fire and Ash. So what do we have here? Is this another billion-plus-dollar film? Or like so many of these franchises, is it going to start losing momentum? Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for the movie Avatar Fire and Ash.
Let's talk about it.
So Avatar Fire and Ash returns us to Pandora. Here we follow Jake Sully, his wife and children, as a new and far more volatile threat emerges. The story introduces us to a Na'vi clan shaped by fire, aggression, and survival, rather than balance and harmony, forcing old alliances to be tested and new moral lines to be drawn. As human forces once again encroach on Pandora, the conflict pushes Jake and his family into yet another fight for survival. And old foes come back, attempting to complete what they tried to do in the last film. So what works in this film? Well, James Cameron once again delivers a visual experience that few filmmakers on the planet could even attempt, let alone execute at this level. Fire and Ash is a technical marvel, boasting some of the most advanced and convincing visual effects ever put on screen. Every creature on Pandora is incredibly expressive and lifelike, from the smallest background animals to the massive and fearsome beasts that dominate the action scenes. Subtle facial expressions, eye movements, and physical mannerisms give the digital characters a tangible sense of emotion and presence, making the world feel truly alive.
That's so pretty.
The action sequences are equally extraordinary and represent blockbuster filmmaking at its absolute peak. Cameron stages massive set pieces with remarkable clarity, ensuring that even the most chaotic battles remain easy to follow. Whether it's airborne combat, ground-level warfare, or large-scale destruction involving fire and ash, each action sequence feels carefully constructed, rather than overwhelming. There's a real sense of weight and physicality to the violence, and the escalation of tension within these scenes keeps them thrilling rather than just being exhausting. Simply put, in terms of visual and action, Fire and Ash is as good as it gets.
So what's the bad news?
What doesn't work in this film, however, is it's the same problem you had in the last couple movies. The runtime. It's once again excessive, stretching the story well beyond what the narrative actually requires. While Cameron's world building remains impressive, it often comes at the expense of pacing, with extended stretches of exposition and repeated thematic beats that slow the film's momentum. These problems become most noticeable in the final act, which closely mirrors the ending of the previous movie. Once again, the story builds towards a prolonged siege-style battle in which human forces attack a culturally significant Na'vi stronghold. The climax shifts from large-scale spectacle to more intimate focus on Jake and his family being separated, hunted, and placed in immediate danger. In the end, Avatar Fire and Ash is a film defined by its contradictions. It's a breathtaking technical achievement, with visuals and action sequences that push the medium forward, yet it is held back by an overlong runtime and a finale that feels structurally repetitive. For audiences seeking an unmatched cinematic spectacle, the film delivers that. For those hoping the storytelling would evolve as boldly as the technology, it may leave a lingering sense of awe mixed with frustration. Now, I think this movie is going to cross the $1 billion mark, but I don't think it's going to do as well as the first two. It's worth seeing for the visuals alone, but just don't expect much in terms of a new plot.
It's the same thing as before.
Well, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a question, share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.